for Estacada Area Arts Commission. We have lots of guests tonight, which is really cool. And I think because we have new guests and new people that we'll do introductions, but maybe wait on that till Dave gets here.
Have you heard from Dave?
I have not heard from Dave. Or we can do part introductions now and part later, whatever people like. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Just dive in.
Just dive in. All right. Do you want to start, Jesse, and we'll go around and then we'll.
I'm Jessie Kerr, co-chair, co-treasurer. Been on the commission just since January.
I'm trying to spell people's names correctly. I'm Jean Hebert Larson. I'm back on the commission after a recess of about 2 years. And I'm excited to be back. And I guess I'm now secretary. So I'm writing minutes.
Thank you for being secretary.
Yeah.
I'm Deborah Vendetta, co-chair and co-treasurer. I don't know how long I've been on the commission. It hasn't been that long, but longer than Jesse. Yeah.
I'm Vincent Summer. I'm a commissioner as well. Been on the commission, I guess, for 9 months, something like that. So start of the year. But I do all sorts of art stuff, so yeah, I don't know. All sorts, yeah, anything. I paint on stuff.
I'm Jerry Tenbush. I'm the city council liaison. I've been on city council this is my 5th year. And everybody in here knows me already, so.
All right.
Do you want to have guests introduce themselves
yeah.
really quickly?
Jump
Do you
in.
mind? Doing,
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
yeah, or just do introductions now and we can,
We're not great at being super formal,
we
so
really aren't.
just jump in. We're very low key, all 4 of us.
We're all learning too.
So my name's Jordan Winthrop. I've been a helper with Summer Celebration and many other art things throughout the years, and basically wanted to come and introduce some of the things I offer for cities and art commissions. I was just speaking at a 2-day conference in Pendleton for tourism, and a lot of arts trails and things were demonstrated through an app I built. At Pendleton, we hand cast bronze QR codes and put bronze QR codes on all of the murals and all of the statues. And it is a audio guided tour with the artists talking about the statue and why they created it, where it came from, and they actually give the history of it through an audio tour all through an app. So my company is Winthrop Corp, but the app that we created is called Passportage. It actually guides people through different trails, tours. It can give people points for doing those actions. We've done some things like where there's hidden things you have to find. With the Park and Recs Commission, we did like the candy cane hunt a couple of years ago, where they had to take pictures of different candy canes hidden throughout the parks, and that was through our app. So I just wanted to let you guys know this. I heard you guys talking about possibly doing a poetry trail. That's definitely something that my app does. And then also just creating more interaction with tourism and art. So I'm very heavily involved in tourism. I'm on the Oregon Tour and Travel Alliance. I'm their marketing liaison for Oregon, for Travel Oregon and Travel Portland. So in Pendleton, we talked to all of the different major cities, travel and tour operators. And I think that we have a really good thing going with all the art in the city, and we could be promoting it in a better tourism type manner. So I just wanted to throw that out there and let you know I'm a resource that you could come to if need be.
Is there a cost associated with being a part of that?
Yes,
on the
there is
app?
a cost for the app, and, to create QR code, I mean, it just depends on how far you go, whether, I have geofencing where you don't need QR code, and so you're scanning that specific spot on your location. QR code is more of a visual, so people can see that that actually is there, scan it, so I just have to know about the app at the time. So there's definitely different things, but I've been well known to do very cheap for free things for the art commission, including all the summer celebration website free and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Let's just say
That's
that.
what we like to hear. Well, thanks, Jordan.
That's it.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
I'm like really nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Good, that's good. For me, I'm loud.
We can hear you.
Yes, I'm very good at projecting. My name is Alicia Sheeberl and do I have to speak in here?
Apparently, we didn't have sound for our planning meeting. We were videoing, but there was no sound.
I put in an application to be on the Vice Commission, so that's all. And I'm assuming I'll get grilled later at some point. After I get to situate myself, but it's the grilling part doesn't happen now, right?
Cross-examination.
Yeah.
No, it does not happen right now. This is just you introducing yourself. So no worries. Thank you.
Hi, Hannah.
So I'm Hannah, I sit as the chair, is what you say, for the Downtown Estacada Commission.
Cool. Oh, lovely.
Jesse.
Yes, we were the ones that were emailing. Yes, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too in real life.
Jared.
Collaboration.
Yes, Monday we had our meeting. For the, and Jerry mentioned I should come here tonight, and we were just discussing a December. Activity that we might be able to work together, or if you guys have ideas. We have the tree lighting that is December 2nd. I want to say first or second, the first Friday.
It's the first Friday in December.
That is usually here, there's Santa, there's Caroling.
It's December 1st.
First, okay.
Yeah, for some reason, we had thought that that wasn't happening this year. It came up at our meeting and we thought that that wasn't happening. So that's great to know.
It's
Worked on the calendar.
Yeah, it's in the thing, that's right, I think that comes through water.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
happening, there was just a
Bump.
minor news putting out.
Gotcha.
But it's for sure happening. But we were trying to just brainstorm ideas about maybe adding like to get the businesses, people downtown,
Mhm.
and do like a cider walk or a hot cocoa walk. Or Jordan, some candy canes, hiding. Just to get people in businesses.
It's-
I think Connie, who is on the with me as well, she's asked a few so far. And some people were like, about hot cocoa is a lot of work, but some people like being cider.
You can also, pro teacher move is just chocolate milk in a crock pot.
Yep. They like cider.
Seriously,
hot pot.
Most amazing life hack ever. Chocolate milk.
Tree light.
Mhm.
She's like, silly, but that's the hardest thing all day.
Yeah.
I don't.
Tell her about chocolate milk. It'll change your life.
So the thought,
Teacher, I've made a lot of like mass cocoa.
the thought was that this might be something that, the two commissions could collaborate on. Being that it is on First Friday. With the First Friday going on and then, tree lighting and all that stuff, this would be a good opportunity for the two commissions to collaborate. Put something on together.
Is anybody who's on the commission now currently connected to the Spiral Gallery or know their First Friday schedule at all?
Not directly, I don't think.
Directly, no.
Cool.
We've
Um,
reached out to them several times, but not had a whole lot of.
Hannah, do you want to shoot it past your crew to see if the sort of caroling thing might be of interest too? Because I would
Yeah.
love to do that. My oldest just joined choir, so we could maybe try and work with the student population. But also we could bring in a horn ensemble or something like that and just have some background. Along those lines, we could move it around pretty easily too, if people are just sort of mingling in that area.
Yeah.
So
That'd be great.
let me know.
And did he, did Arlo?
Yeah.
Did he join, is it middle school or high school? I forget.
He's in 8th grade.
No, I know.
He's
Okay.
giant. But he could also man the hot chocolate station too, I think,
Yeah.
pretty willingly, I would assume.
Yeah.
That's his specialty.
Okay.
Eating marshmallows.
And I think that was it. Just if
Yeah,
you guys have.
Does anybody here have contact with Rendell Frunk?
The band teacher.
Yeah, choir and band.
So far, just via email, but I would like to.
Well, because in years past, pre-COVID, so they have their choir and then they have their troubadours, I believe is what they're called. And in the past, they've had the troubadours come in here and do Christmas songs. When it was when it was in here. Haven't had it in here. It's just been all outside in the rain the last couple of years with very little going on inside. But the thought was to get it back, have the lighting and then get people gathered inside. With Santa, the fireplace is working again. So
Yeah, the conversation had come up at our planning meeting about possibly doing a winter sale. And getting some vendors and things and encouraging that, but we had sort of had that on our plate for next year because it's already a little
I
bit,
know. So
it's a little late
Totally.
for us to like get vendors this year.
Okay.
But in the future, we'd love to like coordinate that and maybe get a little ahead of it.
Bizarre.
If we put the word out a little earlier.
they
Been like-
they just ended their big event, which was Oktoberfest. They've been so deep involved
Well,
in that.
that's too, because
so-
the Arts at the Creek, so we were just,
Yeah.
but that was absolutely, it's on our minutes from like, oh, winter sale, and we took like notes about what had happened last year, and we really would love to coordinate to do that bigger next year, but yeah, if we could dip our toe in and help out this year, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there's a small way that we can contribute, yeah.
So I think they were planning on forming a subcommittee
That's what I was gonna ask.
with
is
the
there a-
DEC, and then if you guys wanted to join the subcommittee, no more than 3 people, of course. Then that subcommittee would meet and go over what could be done, what, ideas and stuff, and it is short time, so that was the thought process there.
So have you actually formed a subcommittee yet, or were you gonna
I
do
think
that?
we did. I think they just kind of publicly wait. I think it's Julie Cooper, who does the jewelry, and then Connie.
Is there anyone that wants to jump into that and help out? Anyone who's, sounds like you've already volunteered, Mike. Help with the music,
I'm-
maybe at
I'm
least?
definitely willing to do that, and I'd like to pursue the crossover between my oldest just rejoined band, so we're trying to sort of like, yeah, let's do stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to work on that. And yeah, I was bubbling some other ideas about just music stuff, so we'll get back to that later.
I could join to be just I'm not sure how much like time around then I can volunteer, but I'd join to be like idea generator and do some work up to it.
I think that's kind of where we're at. because it's
Yeah.
October, and I
Mm.
don't think, like you said, we're not gonna shut down the street and do
Right.
vendors, and I think it's just.
Just to expand it a little bit more.
Little thing,
Yeah,
get people to stay and go downtown or something, so ideas.
great. I'll jump in if you want to email us and we can chat more subcommittee style.
Well, thank you guys, and is this appropriate if I'm already sitting up here, and I think I saw on your agenda that you're gonna talk about Oktoberfest? Is,
Only briefly, we
No.
just had talked about, we're gonna talk about how we didn't talk about it soon enough. I mean,
because we.
yeah, we can just say, I mean, we really like, I had
Input
spoken to
or-
Connie several times over the summer, and I had told her that we wanted to table, and she was like, yeah, that would be great. I was like, great. And then I emailed like closer
There
to,
it
and
is.
nobody responded, and I didn't realize we needed to do like an application.
Yeah.
We just kind of, one of our goals for the planning meeting that we came up with was really to just like coordinate with more commissions and really help promote each other's events. So we
Yeah.
just want to be a face at all events and just like have a little activity here and there and ask
Yeah.
other people what they're doing and get your guys' events involved with ours and just work on that overlap a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we just want to open the conversation more. And Connie and I had talked about really making a vendor list, and I had sort of talked to Jordan about it as well. Just sort of like every time we have a vendor, say like, hey, would you like to join this list that we're gathering that's for all Estacada events? So we all don't have to start from zero. You could just go
Right.
to City Hall and say like, hey, we want to send this email out to this group of people.
Do you want to come again?
Yeah, so it's like an opt-in mailing list so that we can really help each other. So we don't have to start all over again every time. So little things like that. And then we have another, I don't know if Art Quest Estacada will come up. Well, we're gonna come back to that later. But we're gonna be putting out like a summer bingo passport kind of thing that we want to get like other commissions events or other
Yeah.
things going on to promote downtown and you know, doing a mural walk, and if other people are doing events, we really want to include them.
Yeah.
So the coordinating and working together more is on our
It's always
goal. Yeah,
hard to do, but
it is.
yeah.
But I also think we
Yeah.
all don't make enough effort.
Well, and I think the
That's
feedback to
Mhm.
even earlier this week was that a lot of the committees and commissions are experiencing the same sort of lack of involvement, you know what I mean? So whatever we can do to stoke that.
Yeah,
sort
to
of
help each other.
cohesiveness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
DEIC didn't even have a quorum at their meeting
Oh,
on Monday.
I
Oh, geez.
know.
I mean, it's hard. I also feel like if we coordinate, theoretically, it could make things easier. So we're not all working really hard in our own little arena.
Right.
And then everyone else is starting from scratch, working really hard instead of just saying like, oh, I have a list. Oh,
Yep.
send.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I'm going to invite people. I really think that we can make it a little easier for each other. on
Well,
that.
and then, you know, that
And-
repetition serves the vendors and it serves the people of planning the events, and it's just a better approach, you know?
Yeah, and putting forward a cohesive foot
Mhm.
will bode well with people that want to be involved with all of our different events. So, yeah.
One thing that I will recommend, and I know that Connie will also, you know, she'll also say something in the subcommittee is try to include the food carts, the food cart pod.
Oh, yeah.
Because they love to be involved. They love to, you know, they just love being involved. They love Estacada as much as everybody. So
Right.
they do their own things, but they love being involved in what we do too. So
Thanks for coming. Nice to see you in real life.
Thank you.
Have a great meeting.
Nice to meet you.
and Jordan, I don't know if you'd be interested, but or if you have the bandwidth at the time, but community members can join subcommittees too. So if that's something you'd be interested in, might be something worth talking to Hannah about. Being on the subcommittee for the tree lighting ceremony and you know, the event, making it an event. So yeah. So yeah, something, I mean, if it's something, I mean, we can have community members on subcommittees, so.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, our subcommittee for, our subcommittee for, the city council subcommittee for deciding on the grants that we're handing out to, nonprofits is, 3 counselors and a community member. So, I knew it before, but this just brought it back into my memory that we can have community members, community volunteers on subcommittees.
Great. Cool. Well, that takes like a couple things off our list.
Awesome. And Jerry, you just keep on talking since we're ready for your liaison report.
I can't really think of anything that happened at the last meeting that, you know, would directly involve, or affect the Arts Commission. I know that this past Monday was a busy day between the Downtown Estacada Commission at 9 o'clock, and then 10:30, the Design Review Committee, which was something else. But
Dynamic.
yeah, it does sound like there's going to be eventually be 100 unit apartment complex going in on the Red Fox property. They're going to revamp the hotel, completely renovate it, and then it's going to be 36 studio apartments and 64 one-bedroom apartments for workforce housing, seniors. It's going to be open market. It's not going to be low income or Section 8. But it's I guess we have a 200 unit shortage in Estacada for workforce housing. We have a lot of people that work here that live elsewhere. We have a lot of people that work elsewhere that live here. So, and then of course, we're all getting older. We always need someplace for seniors where they can afford. But the idea was, 60% of our graduating high school students, they don't move away. They want to stay here. This is where they want to live.
60%.
Yeah. So it'd be, and they can't afford to live here. They have to stay with mom and dad. I know from experience, I've got a 23-year-old still living in the house, at least for another month. But yeah, that's the idea behind that. It's not to bring, it's not it's not transitional homes. It's just, one bedroom and studio workforce and senior, and, it's like I said, not affordable housing. It's not Section 8, none of that. It's open market. So, but the design review was denied, but they're going to come back meeting all the criteria. It's just because they didn't meet some of the criteria, and there were some issues that they just have to work out, but sounds like they're going to work it all out, and it's going to be about a $14 million project. So
Wow.
And there's going to be, it's going to tie into the walking path, and they're going to have a beautiful area over along Lakeshore, or not along Lakeshore, but along the riverfront. They're going to have a beautiful area down there for, like with benches and landscaping. So, and an overlook. So it sounds like it's going to be a great thing once it comes to fruition, but
Is there a timeline for it, or?
no, it's still not even approved yet. So, but they'll get their ducks in a row, and it'll probably be a couple of year project. $14 million worth of, it's like 5 or 6 buildings, no, 8 buildings.
So, okay, sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
14 million for a 100-unit building, but they're talking about the school bond being $140 million or something. Like, what, doesn't it seem like a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, like that's,
But
Just
the
like-
schools need so much.
need a new school.
Yeah, the schools need so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I for one will be voting yes on the school bond.
Should have been 4 years ago.
I voted yes every time. So
Okay,
far.
sorry.
No, you're good. But that's all I really have.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, September minutes to look over and approve.
I can't move anything because I
Oh.
wasn't here,
Yep.
so.
I moved to approve the minutes. Your minutes are so much better than mine.
I didn't write these. I wasn't
You
there.
didn't write these?
No, I did not.
Who did?
I don't know, but they were very good. I think Jesse, right?
Fantastic.
Maybe? I don't know.
didn't write.
Fantastic. The magic person wrote them.
They're ghost
Alex.
minutes.
Literally.
The minute period.
You were finally on top.
David did.
That's right, David.
Dave wrote them.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Dave, wherever you are. Is Dave on?
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, Dave did the minutes. It was.
That's a doctorate level.
Dave's doctorate
Minutes.
minutes. Mike moves to approve them. Do we get a second? Oh, that's not my job.
I'll
Mm,
second.
okay.
And Mike, if you want to take a look at the planning meeting
Mhm.
minutes, I don't think we need to like approve them per se.
Yeah, I definitely.
But when we get to the recent events, we can just like kind of review the action items and we can update that. We don't have to. look at
Oh,
it.
those.
They're really sort of extensive because they're like, it was a
Those
long
are
meeting.
those are your minutes.
These are my minutes. Yes,
Gotcha.
I did write those.
Your
Do we
teacher
need
minutes.
to approve the planning meeting?
I don't think so.
Minutes?
She said I don't really need to
Okay.
give them to her. So
But we do need to approve these, so we've had our motion and second. All in favor of approving
Aye.
September minutes?
I,
Aye. Cool, awesome. Financial statements. Well, I'm gonna jump ahead slightly to the financial statements since it's relevant, like officially our grant money check was deposited. That's exciting.
nice.
And not exciting and but a little sad. We did receive the money from Paige and also from the Estacada Poetry Project. So those were two nice deposits that went in. The amount from Paige was $2,155.70, and the Poetry Project was $551.73. So
Is that a poetry project? Is that something else that was like closing and they donated?
yep,
Oh,
I think that was also Emily Mood.
it was, yeah, both.
Alicia,
We're
don't
organized.
cry.
Oh,
So was I.
we have.
I know, I was present because you stepped down. She made you.
And I would,
Poetry project.
and I
really
wouldn't
could
take it
turn
on.
that Right into the.
well, that's a great idea.
I mean, the poetry project can go directly towards our new poetry.
Oh,
project,
that's such a good idea.
Right? I mean, that's.
To be the
that's
seed money for
in-
that.
Maybe we can even mention it in some way or honor it in some way because we're planning a poetry project.
That's such a good idea. Oh.
So that like that can just go right towards the new thing.
Fuzzy.
Yeah. Right, well, those,
Yeah, we should
two-
definitely talk to Emily about that.
yeah, I think it'd be exciting to share that
Mhm.
with her.
So some good deposits, new.
Was
Doesn't
there
look like
any-
we have any new expenses yet.
I mean, I'm about to submit.
we
and
have a
you're about to
bunch.
Submit. I'm about to submit, just I have the gift certificates for Maddie and Tina. So we'll need to sign those before we leave today. I'm gonna put these somewhere really physically obvious, so I don't forget them.
Good idea.
Um,
And
not
I
gonna
will
have it.
have the meals for our planning meeting. Will be on next month's, but no surprises on here. Everything looks pretty good.
Okay,
Throwing my
is
papers
there any
around.
mail other than the mystery key?
Um,
That's not a mystery. anymore?
Yes, we got a notice about conference for festivals and events in February. February 29th to March 2nd at Seaside Civic and Convention Center. It's from the Oregon Festival and Event Association, which we at one point had a membership to.
Yeah, that's actually what the Jean Hebert Larson memberships reimbursement is for in 2020 was for them. So we must still be on their mailing list.
Mhm.
I mean, it looks like we lapsed, but we didn't do a lot. We had signed up to thinking that they could help us out with like music rights for summer celebration and publicity maybe. And then I think Scott might have gotten to their conference one year and the takeaway was that there wasn't a lot that was useful to us. A lot of it was for people with bigger bank accounts than
Mhm.
That
us.
sounds really official. I don't even have the bank account to go to Seaside for those.
I
days.
mean, well, I think that like McMenamins was a participant, you know, for their big events and it's like, okay, well, that's kind of the scale that they're talking about.
Gotcha. All right.
No, we're not.
Larger.
Yeah, so we had that.
We
And-
have had some ongoing correspondence with RAC,
Mhm.
so
Well, I
that's,
do have another one answering a question that I think maybe came from Mike and Vince about the mural on High School Pharmacy.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so Katinka filled us, there was some concern over, there was a depiction of an African-American man as a cowboy with a gun. and just what the story behind that was. And the man, it's a depiction of a man who played a cowboy character in one of the Grange melodramas. Joe Cotter had spoken with him personally, and the actor wanted to be portrayed for his part in the play as a cowboy. So
cool.
it's something
Yeah.
specifically related to Estacada
It's times-
history
it's
and
kind of-
performing arts.
Based on
actual people.
Yep. Yeah, and so it's
awesome.
from Katinka from Artback. She filled us in on that. So,
That's good.
which is really nice. I wish there was a place where
It said that.
all of that was,
Little
It's-
cartoon blow up of like little, this is, I don't know.
I wish there was a way that we didn't even have to ask those questions.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
It
But
should, yeah,
it's better to know.
yeah.
I mean, there was
It's
talk
just
a long time ago about doing QR codes at the murals and,
there is.
There is.
oh, there are now?
On some at least.
So I mean, if
all
that
have.
if that one doesn't have a QR code, then that can be like, it would be really great if there's a QR code and you can look it up and get the history of the mural. And then if people do have concerns, then it's right there.
It
Mhm.
could start a trend. They're into the movie or the show that it's from. People start getting into it, you know? How people's getting into old school
I
stuff.
also think it might be the case that Vince was the only person in a long time who took a really close look at that and was like,
My husband, who does not flag things like that ever, commented to me, and we had that conversation with Jane like 5 years ago, probably, because he was like, has anybody looked at this?
It's like,
Um,
it's just kind of random, but yeah,
I mean, if you don't know the history, it's a question to ask.
yeah, somebody could take it,
Context is
they're like,
everything.
they
Mhm.
take it in a different direction these
Yeah.
days quickly, or people judge quickly. That's reassuring anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was all our physical mail correspondence. We've been talking to Mario at RAC about the
Yes,
meeting,
and
so
So
Jesse.
the RAC outreach event is gonna be on October 17th. From 7 to. What did they say? Or 6 to 8, excuse me, 6 to 8. And I am waiting on flyers from him. It's like, I was like, okay, so I'm like, it's really soon. We need a flyer so people come.
Where is-
So it's gonna be at the Wade Creek Community Room. Okay. And so we will hopefully promote that as soon as possible for them. And if they're giving us a flyer, I assume we can disseminate it at will. So as soon as I get it from them, I will email it to all of you, and then we can post it on Facebook. But then that's something that I think we personally are willing to, we can share, because it's not really our event. It's on behalf of RAC, right? So I think we should be good for that. So I'll
So-
send that to you guys as soon as
Okay.
possible.
Alex,
It's-
is that?
The
some-
event is from 6 to 8,
On what day? I'm sorry.
October 17th.
I think it's a Tuesday.
It's a,
Is that something that could go on the city calendar?
I don't know. I have to ask.
Okay,
It's not technically like it's a city sponsored event. So maybe, let me ask.
okay.
you could tell them that we are co-sponsoring, because we are there on behalf of them and renting it on behalf of them, and we will be there. So we are kind of co-sponsoring
Right. Let me ask.
if it needs to be.
No, no.
So hopefully we will, I sent Mario an email yesterday pleading for a flyer. So hopefully we'll get like some piece of media we can send out about it. Because that was a problem before. They didn't tell anyone. People are busy. We
They
need
don't
to-
have a Maddie.
Yeah,
That's soon too.
it's really soon.
Well, yeah,
Awesome.
and I do think, given what happened with Portland City Arts and RAC, that they'd probably get a lot more participation at this meeting now
Mhm.
that things are
People
kind
wanna
of up
know.
in the air
Mhm.
and,
Right.
you know, 2/3 of their funding is gone, so people are
Mhm.
concerned. Yeah,
And in terms of just sharing word of mouth, it's a community arts discussion, or did he frame it in a way that's like,
He framed it as a community outreach event.
okay,
It was all a little bit vague.
okay,
Cause I was sort of like, well, like I was trying to figure out whether or not they would like the community room, or like if Ant Farm would be a good place, but they sounded like they wanted to set up food and have a pretty good space. And I think that the idea behind it is to continue having like fairly periodical events like that, where they might actually have like some performers at a time, or, you know, like I think they want to make that outreach more regular.
Would be cool.
which would be awesome.
Yeah.
And if we can continue to use that space, you know, like it could be a really wonderful thing. But I think we're all walking in a little bit blind. We don't really
Okay.
know what to expect.
Community outreach,
Cool.
yeah,
That's kind of, it's kind of a vague term, so I don't know.
it's like, we're here.
Uh-huh. But people, I think, are, like you said, curious enough about the
Uh-huh.
future of RAC, and people are really involved with it, that people will come just out of curiosity, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I'd really want to make sure that like Spiral Gallery and the Estacada Arts or the Estacada Together, all those organizations that are still around but maybe less active right now or less visible, that all those coordinators.
Well, it's like, I mean, I can post a flyer at the Artsmith and
Mhm.
give one to Spiral, and yeah, as soon as we have it, I think we just throw it out there as often as possible. It will help us in the long run, so cool. It'll help everybody, so.
I think even without a flyer, specifically emailing Jane and Katinka, make sure that and Jamie and Carl at Spiral Gallery.
Do you guys who know them want to do that?
Yeah, I will. I can email Jane.
Do you have all of their emails?
I can do Jane and Carl.
Okay,
I
I
have
have,
Katinka
okay,
somewhere. Cause I emailed with her.
I might have Jamie, but I think there's a Spiral Gallery email and,
But it is
There is,
incorrect. It is incorrect and no one answers.
oh, well, never mind.
That's
One
which
bounce back.
sometimes have, it
No,
happens
one
with
bounced back and
generic
then I went
emails.
to the gallery and they gave me another email, and then I sent it to that one like 3 times and I just got no traction. It's
So
been
never
really
mind.
hard to like get any response from Spiral.
Well, Carl lives 2 doors away from me, so I will tell him and knock on his door and tell him to come.
It might be a good idea. They do have like a monthly co-op meeting. At some point, we
we
might just
go?
want to attend,
Or we,
ask
like-
if we can attend their meeting and just be like, hey, you know, we're here, we are a resource, we want to promote you and work with you.
Yeah.
If we have flyers by Friday, the first Friday event is Am Griswold.
Okay.
And it will be well attended because everybody loves Am because Am is delightful. And so it would be a really good place to connect with everybody who needs to go to this meeting if we have flyers to hand them.
And that's this Friday?
Yes,
Mhm.
Oh, would be the first Friday.
yes. I mean, it could have been last Friday. I don't know.
Well, first Friday of October though.
I know, but like if it were like the
Yeah.
whatever day, I don't know. I can't math.
Okay, so just jump
Yep.
in. We have so much to get through and we're all over the place.
I'm sorry. I
No, that's
forgot
weird.
that.
No, it's
That's all right.
all, it's jumping into all the things. The planning meeting, I gave you all the minutes. It's a little rambly. I think, Mike, if you're looking at any important things, we talked about, we made some goals that I think were really on point and pretty intentional. We talked about making Estacada Creates simpler and less often and more intentional. And we are not going to do the coloring contest anymore because we are going forth with Art Questacada. Which Mike is the only one who hasn't heard about it. We're all very excited about it.
I heard whispers about it at the picnic this weekend.
Yeah, so
Map
Vince,
out, yeah, sorry,
go for it.
gonna do like a map out of Estacada,
Mhm.
kind of show businesses like in the, kind of like what you'd see in like, you know, like.
Like
Aspen
those
or
out of
something.
proportion, but
You know,
cartoony kind of.
It's not gonna be to scale at all.
I love
Yeah.
It's not gonna be to scale at all, but I haven't started on it at all.
the kind
It's
of thing
just
you would find on like a
here.
Perkins placemat.
Totally, yeah.
That's
Perkins-
the
So that-
Better than Perkins. Yeah.
So that on one
We're
side.
not Perkins, we're talking Perkins.
Culver's.
Estacada, we're better than Perkins.
Tagline. And then on the other side, doing like a bingo, like passport of like fun, family friendly ideas of things to do over the summer.
Yeah.
So putting in like attend a concert at the park, participate in chalk walk, go to Timberfest, take a mural walk. Maybe do a scavenger hunt of public arts and things in town or different things in town, just so we're promoting
Concerts in the
businesses,
park.
yeah,
Yeah.
commissioner
Yep,
stuff, like
yep.
things that are already there. And just sort of like build in, so you can hand it, and we could hand it out to families. We talked about handing it out in June.
We could put it
And
in
making
the,
it really family centered. We could probably get the schools to
I
hand
mean,
it out.
we can send it
That
in the
would
water
be-
bill.
Carter.
Send it in the water bill.
A perfect project for Jordan as well, and a
And I-
project for collaboration with
And I-
all of the
And that would be a
commissions.
great
Emailed them about it already.
door hanger or a thing that goes out. That's like,
Totally.
you know, a smaller piece of paper that's laminated. You could keep it in the car. You could put it on the rear view, you know what I mean? Just
Well,
have
then
it
we
in the glove
talked about
box.
like at the end of the summer, even if kids are like checking things off or marking things off, that maybe you turn it in at the end of August and we do a raffle
Right.
for like a basket of art supplies or something fun like that. So it's like our big coordination project. So we can, hopefully it will be sort of like a lot of setup and getting it done, but it shouldn't take a whole bunch of resources of ours to promote it. And it can just be one of those things we hand out to everybody all the time and I talked to Parks and Rec about it already. And then we've just talked to Hannah about it. So that's great. And so just talking to all the commissions, like, what are you doing? Do you have anything that we can put on there? What are your
Cool.
suggestions? And really get.
Yeah, I
people
mean,
involved.
just even that project is a reason to like create the cohesiveness between everybody. So I think. that's great.
Totally.
Yeah.
And always kid incentive, ice cream. If we could like
Oh, yeah, like a
team up with
Yo treats.
Yo treats and be like, oh,
Tokens, yeah.
if somebody turns this in, can we get you know, like we could. I
Or
don't know,
dollar off
Just some
token.
sort of
something, you know what I
stamp.
mean? It's the kind of thing too, where if they offer any kind of like free something, they know that people walking in the door are gonna spend more anyways. So
Right.
just getting people in the door is the idea.
And just keeping it all like very family, kid centric.
Right. I think that's
Kids will
vital.
drag their parents anywhere.
Yep, I think that's vital.
Or parents will drag their children everywhere depending on the incentive. So those were kind of the big things that we talked about in the planning meeting. And we did talk about the winter sale. We talked about next year because it's a little soon this year. I think it's a good idea, like she said, to maybe do just a tiny something this year and a little bit more and a little bit more. And then next year, maybe do more.
I mean, also bringing everything here. This like doubles back on a conversation from Monday in a different commission, but like getting people in the building and being like, this is the heart of the city. This is where things go down. This is where people meet. This is where things get planned. This is where you should come if you want to participate in your city. You know what I mean? Just having events down here for that overlap and familiarity, I think is crucial. So maybe we could do something small this Christmas time and jump in.
Yeah, I'm down. I think if you and I show up to some sort of meeting they have and we can chat and sort of see what.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's for the Christmas tree, if it's like for just a couple hours, like that's a more doable volunteer than like Oktoberfest. It was sort of like they wanted you there all day.
Right.
And
We would have definitely.
none of
been-
us wanted to be.
We would
there
have
all
definitely
day.
been seated next to the Trump booth too.
We definitely wouldn't have wanted to be there all day. So yeah, and we talked a lot about poetry in public places, which is later down here, but I'm not sure how much we can really charge forth on that. I feel like we should be talking to Dave about that because he was gonna do a little recon on it too.
Can I jump in and just bounce some ideas about December music?
Yes.
I feel like for the sake of realism that the open mic thing is a little bit dead in the water.
Just do like a caroling thing or something.
Right, I
Like
think that
cider
that's
and cookies
something
and
that we could
caroling
do,
and
but
Amphar?
I kind of want to bring music to Estacada that wouldn't otherwise land here because you get sort of the standard bar circuit bands that come through. And I just know different people. So I got a couple things in mind. So if it's something that we could figure out to reasonably work into the budget and have maybe twice a year bringing like a snazzy band with, you know what I mean? Like I just played as a mercenary in this sort of soul jump blues kind of thing. And it was like way more fun than I thought it would be. So I was like, man, this would crush in Estacada because it's kind of, you know, it's soul, so it's kind of country-ish, you know what I mean? It's just old music. And it's bluesy and it's guitar stuff, but it's got horns and I just got some idea. I think that might be a little bit more. And if we made it like earlier in the day and all ages, or, you know, I don't know where.
That's what I was just thinking, like location. Like the community
mean-
room's not very big, but it's bigger than Amp.
But you know what? That's the point though, is if you put 40 people in this room, it's
Right.
full.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if 25 or 30 people go into the smaller space and you have the doors open and it's still that might work.
Because the Wade
Um,
Creek Community Room is free for us to rent as a commission.
Right,
Which I now know.
yeah.
Got the double
So-
doors and Stuff too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good space when it's all open.
Right. And, maybe we sort of sprinkle in some other creative things, holiday decorations or just tabling from other committees or, you know what I mean? Something
Do you
to
think we
just,
could try to keep it on that same, like the
yes,
second Thursday?
yes, yes.
Could we do that? And then we could could we check the Wade Creek Community Room for that on
Um,
December 14th?
The other thing too with school, and making it all ages is that that's technically the last day of the week for, students in Estacada. So if maybe we made it something that's a little bit, again, more kid centric.
Kick off winter break.
Yep, family, really?
That would be the third week, I think.
Oh, God, I
right?
was like, the 14th.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Wait,
No,
no,
that
No,
is,
it
no,
is.
you're right.
winter break is the
Winter
next
break's
week.
early this year.
Oh,
Yes,
I
Christmas is
know.
on a Monday. I'm a teacher. I've got winter break in my eyesight.
It's already blinking on the calendar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would
cool.
be, and maybe we sort of make that the theme is like kick off to winter break. Party at the park or something, I don't know. But yeah, there's two different groups that I'm playing with that I would probably throw in the mix. Also, Brenna Larson has reached out and is eager to come back to Estacada and participate, and she now has a 3-piece band put together.
Cool.
So I thought that could definitely oblige welcoming
What
her back.
cost?
I mean,
That's the question.
I went to Hood River for $50 and $25 in food just to play, because that's like the life of being a musician. I think that if we can offer people $100 like a person, and get them out here for $400, I don't know if that's
Because
like
if we're
out of
talking
reach.
about like what, like 2-hour event maybe?
Right.
It'd be pretty short. So
Right.
we would really not have like multiple bands probably, right? It'd be like
No,
one.
One band.
One band.
And usually do 2 50-minute sets, 2 1-hour sets, something like that. Obviously, we would bring a smaller version of the sound system that we brought out for the event. Also part of this is I like to play, so I would.
But we could also, we could even like ask Christie's if she would like bring her travel food card out.
Right.
Like we could make it, it's on a
Yep.
Thursday. They're probably not booked out that far.
Yep.
So like we could have, if we had food carts there and it was like dinner and music, I bet we could get a
Right.
bigger draw too.
Right. And Ivan's down to travel with his whole sort of extended family, all does that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
And he asked me about using the community center and reaching out to the city about that, I think for a family event too. So I think, that's what that space is
So is
for.
that available, Alex? All right, so I guess I'll print out another one of those forms.
All right, so let's jump back to November.
Thank you.
Do we need to approve going forth with that and the money piece of that before?
Well,
we-
that's
Go
why I
back
wanted
and
to
then
jump
forward?
back to November,
Okay.
because those kind of are tied together.
Can we
Have
jump
you
back to
thought about-
October? 'Cause I have
Yes.
some questions about October.
Next week?
Don't skip me. It's next week.
First order, Jean, it's all good. We're flexible.
Cool.
We're
Okay,
nonlinear
October, next week.
thinkers.
So you were saying Maddie was gonna help put a thing, or no?
For I'm
Oh, sorry.
asking about budget stuff. Like
Okay,
how,
You don't have
you
material.
Oh, I don't
thought
have-
oh, sorry.
supply wise?
Uh,
Because if you
I-
can
I
keep it
emailed
to
her
under
yesterday to
$200,
Yeah.
there's your $400. Boom.
Okay.
So
Did we already have some,
I might have emailed.
we
already
have
have some,
some, and I have stuff at the library that's,
like pallets and stuff like
they
that?
don't have
or-
good pallets. I've got,
Yeah, we'll need
Oh,
paint,
no.
we'll need.
got
just-
paint,
Yeah,
I've got tons of brushes. I want to upgrade on paint, I
I'll
think.
email you.
because
Just-
of
just
the
get a little
rules.
variety of
Maggie
color.
will be back to
we can
you
mix,
within the
do a lot of
day,
color mixing too.
More or less. She might have
Yeah.
already.
To turn it into just a color mixing class.
All right.
No, I'm just
But
kidding.
if you can keep like 200 as your max in in mind and
Yeah,
maybe come by the
that's-
library, see what I have.
Yeah, I was thinking that'd probably. be
Okay.
that
So then
adequate.
we got
What's the-
400 for you.
Okay.
It's
Fine.
in the Estacada creates grant
Listing.
budget from the rack, so it's there.
Cool,
So we're good.
love it.
And did we have canvases you said too? Or we had small?
I have mini canvases, like teeny tiny.
Okay, that's good.
So-
Yeah, so far. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe something like 12. Anyway, yeah. I'll make a list together,
Okay.
and stuff.
And Michael's, I found for like bulk art supplies, Michael's
Okay.
has bulk that you can only do online and their prices are usually really good.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
You and I have lots of-
That's good.
And I'll come and bring them. I'm gonna bring her like this.
Great, I
Yeah,
don't wanna
but
get.
we can
I already
hammer out all the details on that
Yeah.
later, but I just want
Maybe
to
as
get that
soon as
ballpark
it's
of
like-
money and
It's already
In mind.
like a month, it's like a month away.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
it'll be sooner than later.
all right.
And I get like some sort of something to put up around town or something, I don't know, put something together. So people know about it.
Yeah, well, Maddie said she would still do flyers for us.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we're
Just
okay
like, yeah, some
for that.
basic stuff.
So do you want to get with her this week? And, oh, sorry, and ask her about doing a flyer?
Yeah, probably
Can
should.
you email
yeah.
her?
Yeah, I'll email her.
Okay, awesome.
List.
All right. And now we'll move back to October.
Cool. Jesse and I were chatting on
We're
the
good.
side. We were being really bad. Commissioners not paying attention, but we were paying attention to that. I don't need any dollars. We have snacks via Jesse and she's going to bring a whiteboard, which I will need. And I have a box of lots of writerly things that honestly, I need to get out of my house for a night. So we're covered. Tell your friends, all writers of all levels of everyone is welcome. You can just come and like have a good time. I'm going to use some improv activities too. So like if you have a theaterly mind and want to like just come anyway, it would be delightful to see people. Just I need people there. I'm really bad at inviting people to my party. So
And I'm gonna check on attendance. I just asked Maddie for like access to the form. The Google form.
I think it's in,
Looked in the drive and I
in,
didn't see
I
it.
thought I was able to get to it from that,
Let's try again.
but
Just-
she
I
should
just
be able
wanted
to
to
give you
check to
direct
see.
access anyways.
Yeah.
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 do you know if there's a flyer at the library? I went today and I did not
Yes,
even think
there
to look.
is.
See, great. So there's a flyer up at the library. It's posted on the NaNoWriMo website because
And it can be shared on, we can
NaNoWriMo
share
too.
it from our Facebook. It's on Facebook.
Great. It's on Facebook.
It's on the reader board here.
It's on the reader board. Everybody show up. It'll be fun.
Cool.
Is it a Facebook event or is it just
It was
Post
a
it.
post, just a posting. We've done so many of them that the events get a little lost.
But next Thursday at our Ant Farm, the time's not on here. What time is it? What time is it?
7 and 9.
7 and 9.
Alex, is that something we could do going forward to set up on Facebook and do them as specific events and not just postings? So they'd kind of live there on a calendar? That'd be awesome.
then, I mean, you could invite everybody from your, that on your friend group that, you
Everyone
think
who
would be
wanted, like, interested to get the algorithm going.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of, if it was a Facebook event, just with my, background with Paige and everything, I know that I have a lot of people on my Facebook group that, if it was an event, I could like specifically go and invite people. I think that I could probably get a few people, but I'll look for it and share it with,
That
people
would be
that I
great.
think will.
And another part of the reason I wanted to get the Google form access is because we talked about making sure that we send, so like maybe on Monday or Tuesday of next week, I'll send an email out from the commission address, be like, don't forget you signed up for this. We can't wait to see you. To just make sure that people remember that that's on their radar.
Good point. I also remember from our last discussion that we talked about maybe going early to make sure it's cleaned up.
Mhm.
Is there a time date that we want to do that?
I mean, I think we just need to go earlier than,
In the day.
yeah, earlier in the day, I think is okay. Manny's
Okay.
pretty open to it. We just have to make sure we get the keys from him.
Cool. Who is that you?
Getting the keys from him.
Uh-huh.
I have not done that before because it's usually day of and
Yeah.
I work far away.
I should be able to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
There was something that came up. Manny keeps emailing us being like, can you give us the new information? And I just want to make sure in one clear voice that we tell him that he needs to share the Facebook post. So he's not sharing it, because a lot of times the way that he's sharing it, it says like an ant farm event, not like an Estacada Arts Commission event sponsored or like with Ant Farm. So we talked about that a little, Maddie and I talked about that a little before. So if anybody asks about that, we just say like, we reshare the Facebook posts. He did? Awesome. Awesome. Yay. Cool. So it's on my radar to email people on Monday or Tuesday. Whoever has signed up.
And I will check in with Manny about keys and what time
Thank
and
you.
all that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. The December 14th event. What do we want to call it? Do you want to have a different thing, or do we say Estacada Creates Music and just keep it on our line?
Well, if the Quips can do it, it's called the Magnificent Quips. I think we call it Estacada Creates because that's already part of the discussion that city council knows of it as, and that's just how it's been referred to. I think we could dress it up a little bit for the holidays and try and do, I mean, if the band leader, I just was emailing him, if he signs off on it and we get an approval, I think what we'll do is start to woodshed some Christmas songs too, you know what I mean, and just sort of get some holiday pizzazz going.
It would be fun to do a sing-along portion if you're gonna
Right.
do it as a
Totally.
quick thing.
Absolutely.
So do you want to get on like securing the music, and I'll just poke around and see if like
Sure.
a food cart or two wants to come and park there for,
I mean,
night?
as, I don't know if this is jumping the gun a little bit too, but I have access to donated trees that Mackenzie gives every year. Last year was for fire survivors. But we could bring decorations or even do like
It's
a,
fun.
yeah.
We
maybe
could
we can-
easily throw it together. Deborah and I are all over throwing together some craft, right? Am I speaking for both of us, but like we could put together some, like a small table of something like that.
Right, right.
So it's not not gonna break the bank or take a ton of effort, but if the food carts can bring some food.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I
Some
think that
eggs
the
or
idea
something.
too is to make it a little bit more low key where people aren't feeling like
They're on the spot.
trapped there. You can just kind of come and go, and you know what I mean? The music we play for a couple hours will just sort of make it lively.
Fun. So if you want to secure the music and then by November, we can make that official.
Yeah, I mean, if the
ask-
Quips can't play and consequently I can't play, then I'll call Brenna and then the budget will go down by $100. And like I said, she's been sort of waiting for the next event for us
Great.
to throw. So we'll lock something down soon.
Maybe we could talk to her about doing a music event in January.
Cool.
We talked about Estacada Creates in January being a music event. Maybe we could talk to her about that.
Okay.
You want to reach out to her?
Yeah. Should we just sort of assume that we can use the Wade Creek space?
And we could just ask Alex.
Well, I mean, Ant Farm's one thing, because then you're coordinating on their schedule. Frankly, the room's full of other stuff that they use for activities, you know what I mean? The Wade Creek space is nice and open and has good, utilities or whatever. And it's also got the sort of overlap of like, when we were there for the picnic, like go run around, you know what I mean? And then it just gives people a place to congregate and also gives the kids a place to sort of go romp.
For after hours events for the community center, what's the bathroom lock situation? Do we need to check in and like make sure it's unlocked or? Cool. Thanks.
Cool.
Maybe we should talk about that for next year, about maybe our events should be there instead of at Ant Farm.
I also have keys and a code.
Oh. Deb's
I mean,
got
I guess.
keys.
Library. hookup.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing, I think that we, essentially, I don't want to say that we were using Ant Farm's space for our benefit, but I think that was definitely
Sure.
part of it.
Okay.
So now that that space is complete up at Wade Creek, it makes sense to kind of use it. I think also.
We could have more people too, like if we're painting and
Right.
stuff, we could
Right.
have more people and have more space and not worry about like covering their nice picnic tables and.
And again, it's about trying to create sort of the repetition of like events happening there on the community's behalf. So that's
Mhm.
really what it's all about.
If Ant Farm ever opens their bakery at Harmony Bakery, I mean, that's,
I need a breakfast spot. Yeah.
I know, right?
They said September. It is October.
I know, I'm watching the clock. I want pastries and coffee. It's such a
So
good
much.
spot. If that opens again, though, that would be a nice place for like an open mic or something. So
Yes.
it's not like we have to totally walk away from them, but it's just, we could think about like different types of events that would
Right.
utilize their space better.
Right.
Mhm.
Alicia, what were you gonna?
know what time you guys were thinking doing that. You're talking about doing it Thursday.
On the 14th?
7 to 9. Yeah.
It had been
tried
7
be
to 9, but I
consistent
wonder
with-
if it's, we try to make it more family friendly.
4 and an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Mhm.
5 to 7.
5 to 7 or 7 to 9 is
Too late.
nightmare time in my house.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm happy to be here right now because 7 to 9 truly is
Same.
good in my house.
Well,
Yeah, if we want to make it family friendly, it should be like 4 to 6 or 5, maybe 5
Well,
to
and-
7.
Well,
Yeah.
With a bunch of other people and a bunch of activities, we leave a lot of events just like, just get them and just. Or
Oh, yeah.
can't take it anymore, and then when you get home, that's a nightmare you're gonna have to deal with, and it's just.
I think 5 to
Have
7's
one
good.
Community members with children, that is mine.
Let's say that's
so-
why I'm never at any of them.
Young
Yeah.
children.
Do you also eat at like 4:45?
Well,
Cause that's legit what time
Yep.
we eat. Okay.
That's 6:55.
Okay.
Cause he has to be in bed like this at 7:30 to get up at 6 AM.
Yep.
I mean, it's 7 AM school bus the next morning. But if you have food carts, if it's like 4 to 6.
Well, and it's Christmas break. All bets are off.
Yeah, so dinner's- it's not that big a deal.
I also agree with earlier is better.
I'll see you for the
Good
last
call.
half hour,
Yeah.
What time do you work till?
5:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
Or even like 5 to 7.
Yeah, 5 to 7 seems
Yeah.
like a nice
That
split
seems a little bit
difference.
more.
Yeah.
You hit people after work too.
well, and if we get the catering or the food carts locked down, then we add that in for the whole parenting structure. So that that you don't have to cook dinner, you can go over there, there's something going on, there's food to eat, just show up and like make it happen. Yeah, I think that's a good.
Can I officially
recommendation.
move that we're going for 5 to 7 and the December event?
Yeah.
Lock it
Super
in.
Official,
Lock it
super
in.
official.
It's dark early too, so that'll seem,
It will be pitch black.
Sweet.
Yeah,
it'll
exactly.
seem, it'll seem like,
It's like 4:45.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll look all pretty, all the lights and.
We'll bring a lot of Christmas lights.
We have at least 4 boxes of lights in the trailer,
Oh,
in the storage
yeah.
unit. There's so many lights in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the library has like 3 boxes. No, I donated those. They're gone. But the Arts Commission has lights. We've got tons of lights.
Okay, that seems like fairly solid ground to stand on for upcoming. Other,
Are we gonna do the, at Ant Farm, sorry, the painting workshop?
Yes,
That's Ant Farm, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
keep that one at the 7 to 9.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
That should be,
So, and then I'll ask Christie's and maybe Timbertown or like another food cart, maybe 1 or 2.
I know, does anybody know where Oswald went?
I think they sold it.
Oh,
Cause
Good
they
for
said
him.
that we're moving on to like a new thing. So I think they
Oh.
sold it entirely.
okay.
based on like a Facebook comment that I read from him.
The waffle part.
Really? Yes. Oh,
That's
can I put that in the
Sorry.
minutes?
Coming back to Estacada.
Leave now, I'm happy.
Oh
my God.
They're so good. Yes.
Oh, she started doing breakfast burritos too.
Yes.
Will you pass that through?
Yeah. Mhm.
Good times. Way to be, Alex. Way to bring the good.
Wow.
Thank you for being the bearer.
I
of
I don't
good
want to go
news.
first.
That's
Here,
okay.
I'll go not first. I just don't like going first. It's cool.
Okay, I'm just getting this card signing out of the way so I don't forget it. Cool. Poetry in the parks, are we okay kicking that to next month? We haven't had a whole lot of motions on it. and We need to chat with Dave. I'll email him to make sure
And,
he's okay.
I
just to make
did-
sure everything's okay.
I talked to Elena emailed with Elena a little bit about that. And she was suggesting a sit down with maybe me and Dave and her and going over, because we will run into some city codes with putting up signs and just making sure that we're abiding by the codes. But I think that we might not need to have a sign permit because they're art related and not street signs.
Mm.
So, but we do need to go through her pretty closely with the code and make sure that the project fits in certain parameters.
So could we maybe put it on the agenda for next month, doing a subcommittee for that? Subcommittee it up. Oh, on that poetry in the parks, Dave was lovely and came to the Parks and Rec meeting with me. I was a flustered, hot mom mess and just sort of stumbled through. It was really awkward. And lots of people were there. So it was fun. I basically was like, hey, putting these things in your ear. And I believe Vincent was the one that he suggested maybe we do some sort of joint meeting sometime just to talk about all those things. Because we have a lot of overlap with the parks.
Right.
And so maybe it doesn't have to happen in this calendar year, but maybe sometime in, like, I don't even know how to do that. Schedule a joint meeting. But maybe we could work, are you guys down with that? I mean, just to have us all in the
Yeah.
same room and chat, there's a couple things. There's like poetry in public places. There's the art in the park. There's the concerts. They were all about like the shade issues that we talked about at Wade Creek and the accessibility issues. Might just be nice to just hash it all out together at some point.
Well, and the more standardized all of the events become, the better it's gonna be on a like delivery
Mhm.
sense, you know what I mean? So the more we work together, the better it's gonna get.
Absolutely. And little things like the art in the park. I was like, I suggested like, could we say that we're co-sponsoring it? Because everybody thought we put it on because we were the only ones there with a sign. But like, we would love to just make sure we're overlapping all those things. So maybe if I wanted to bring that up before I forgot that we talked about doing like a joint commission meeting with them.
Cool. I think that's a great idea.
Just to talk about all the things, maybe
Yeah.
early next year. So like, I don't know, January, February, somewhere in there.
You've got cards to pass around.
I'm trying to,
They're in progress. Let's talk about our commission opening. You had glowing recommendations from current members of the commission. So I
you-
don't think we had any reservations
Except you need
about
to
appointing
sing
you.
for
We just
us.
wanted to leave
Well,
it open
Are you
for
still in
the full
after-
time.
well, I did not pay them very much, so I'm glad that they delivered. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's too much. I'm just gonna do this, if that's okay. Everybody hear me right?
We have to have, just for the recording, I'll turn it down.
That's better.
Now it's not, is it okay?
Is this thing on?
There,
Yeah,
yeah.
there is. So ask away. I'm an open book. Or do you want me to spiel, do my?
Or
thing?
do you have any questions for us?
No, not really. This is actually my third or fourth meeting I've sat in, but not with this iteration. I've volunteered with Summer Celebration before, so went to a few of those meetings and went to a few art commission meetings for something maybe with Paige. I don't remember exactly what, but I kind of have an idea of what you guys do. But you are right, you do need to get word out more because it is a little nebulous sometimes who is doing what. My husband is on the Parks Commission, by the way.
I recognize his name.
Estacada, by the way, I think he has that website because he's doing it for the parks. So you guys should definitely
Yeah.
have that meeting.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I moved to Estacada 13 years ago this December. And I was happily surprised at the thriving art scene when I moved here, because I moved here for, for goats and to have kids and to live out in the middle of nowhere, and then stumbled into a wonderful thriving art scene, which was absolutely fabulous. But I am not an artist personally. And so I kind of feel like that's a good way to give back to the thriving art scene and to our wonderful citizens of Estacada, is to help facilitate access to that art. Like, we can't all be Beyonce, but we can be a roadie, we can carry cable, we can help, facilitate that access so that the average citizen can also, stumble into a vibrant art scene. I like the idea of making it easily accessible. So someone with a full plate that's volunteering on the PTO, volunteering in their kid's school, whose husband has a full-time job and has 2 small children, doesn't really have to work really hard to find something to do. Right? I love, since we've moved here, we're the last house on city water across the bridge. So we get the water bill with like that's been on my fridge every month for 13 years, because that's how there's that thing and there's that thing. So yeah, being a small part of that would be really nice. Like I said, outside of the karaoke bars anyway, I am not Beyonce, but I can help, bring art to the masses. I would love to do that.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Built-in coordination with the Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and I have an in, but he doesn't listen that well, so. Post-its though, post-its are big in our house. Do you guys have any questions for me before I put the mic down? Before I drop the mic? That's very bad on mics. Don't. do
As
it.
the sound guy, please never drop a microphone. They're so expensive. No, I also
Get
would
that
just
pen.
want to say too that being an artist isn't always about like application. It's also about like who you are, how you are, what you believe. So I'm and if you're willing to participate and be rad, that's like
That's our
90% of the job.
Well, it's nice.
I mean, you've sort of seen us operate tonight, so that's sort of the way.
It's super formal, and I don't know if you're gonna be able
We
to.
take ourselves very seriously.
It's funny because it's, I think people don't realize like all that behind the scenes stuff that goes into even the smallest art events, but it's like being in Page, you can't put on a show without a set designer, without the food mom in the green room,
Mhm.
making sure everyone has coffee and food to eat, and the volunteer wrangler and someone taking tickets. And so yeah, it's all just as important. And then this way, if I can do this, then the artist hopefully can be free to do the art stuff that I can do.
I will say from experience that the snack table powered the paid shows to a good degree.
It's true.
You gotta bring snacks.
We would have been very hangry people on stage without them.
And serving on a board with Alicia for a few years, she will bring a lot to the board, a lot of energy, a lot of great ideas. I really think that her being on this commission is going to be a huge get for Estacada.
100%
Do
agree.
you, is there a city council meeting coming up on the this coming Monday?
Yeah, there is, but the agenda's already out, so
Agenda's
it's
already
too
out.
late to get on this agenda, but
Okay.
it can go on the next agenda so that she can be appointed before the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. That was planned. You making a motion?
I'd like to motion to appoint Alicia. I don't know your last.
Shebrel.
Shebrel?
Not, I'm
Shebrel.
not gonna make it easy on you.
Is it like
I know how to
Norwegian?
Spell it.
It is German Jewish,
Okay, there you go.
but it's my husband's name.
Yeah, got you.
I will second.
Perfect.
All in favor of appointing Alicia?
I,
Aye.
welcome to the party.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this off.
Very cool. All right, any other community updates or
I have
arts
one more thing
opportunities?
that
Oh,
didn't make it onto our agenda that
Okay,
we
cool, cool.
said we'd put on our agenda. We talked about joining the Chamber of Commerce.
yes,
Do we want to join the Chamber of Commerce? It was on our thing. I had it written down to talk about it this meeting. so-
since I am the only existing member from that point, we should probably re-vote on that.
Okay,
So,
joining the Chamber of Commerce,
Do you
they
have
would
like a
help
30-second
promote.
summary of what?
Deborah. They would help promote our things for
yeah,
sure,
promotion, I think that's the
Promotion.
biggest thing.
and networking.
Chamber of Commerce affiliated with the city?
No,
Or
it's
is
a
it
separate, separate
It's a
entity.
Business
Yeah,
association.
then we might
Mhm.
as, yeah.
Yeah,
They'll-
and
Does it
we're
cost
not- We
anything?
wouldn't be
It's
the
like
only
preference.
commission that
Okay.
is a member. I think Parks and Rec isn't, I'm almost positive Parks and Rec is a member and at
They
least
seem
one
like they
other.
kind of have their shit together the most.
Is there a cost for joining?
I
It's a
think it's
minimal,
$50.
Okay.
It's, yeah, it's not a huge amount, but
It's less than AAA.
it's less than AAA. If it is more than $50, do we want to reconsider?
If it's more than $100, should we reconsider?
Okay,
How about I research it and then at our next meeting, we can just, if it's more than $50, I'll bring it back to the crew. If it's $50, we can approve it and make it happen.
okay.
Yeah,
But
So just a
approving it-
little bit of,
Oh.
sorry,
Nope.
good. So just a little bit with the chamber. So they've been operating out of City Hall
I thought they
for
did.
years.
Okay.
But Hannah Smith, who was here earlier, the chair for Downtown Estacada Commission, she's renovating a building on
Right.
right over here, and it's going to be shared or it's going to be two separate storefronts. One side is going to be the Forest Service. The other side is going to be for the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh,
So,
that's so cool.
yeah, it's turning a building that was originally two storefronts that they made into one, and she's just basically converting it back to the historical.
Which one?
I
Next to the dance studio?
yeah,
Oh,
It's
really?
in between Julie's building and
Oh, that's so cool.
the dance studio.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, it's
The one with the
just
paper on the windows.
going back to the way it was, and
Okay.
that she's already got two tenants, so it's pretty cool.
Oh,
Awesome.
sorry, I just looked up the Chamber of Commerce. Are we a government agency, nonprofit civic organization?
Civic
Yes.
organization.
Nonprofit civic organization, $100.
Wait, we're not a government agency?
Government agency is more expensive anyway.
Okay.
Still with you.
Got that government money, okay.
An individual is $50.
You guys also already have a contact for someone that is on the Connie she's involved with the
Connie
chamber.
Redmond.
Connie Redmond, yeah.
We could always contact them and say like which one they would want us to pay.
Do,
Maybe they'll give us a discount.
do we want to officially vote next meeting or do we have to vote on this?
I don't think
Write it
this is
down.
super high priority. Why don't we,
Good idea, though.
why don't I email them and see if
Marinate.
we can get a discount and then I'll bring it to the next meeting.
Not a rush.
Okay.
Is it annual or one time only?
Great question.
I think so.
All
I
right.
believe it's,
Oh, you
yeah,
Pay the $70.
it must be annual because it has in here renewal payment.
So should we maybe put it on the books for the first of the year and just keep it real?
Except if
B.
we get it out before like December, then they might be able to promote some of our
Oh, there
stuff.
you go. There you go.
I'll email and find out and bring it to the November meeting.
Yep, get more information and then we'll do our official. And maybe even get our check request ready so that we don't forget it for like 2 years.
Speaking
Shocking.
of, here, you go. There's
Oh.
that.
Wonderful, thank you.
I have a community update. Are we on that?
I think we are to that point. Community updates, arts
Can you give me
opportunities.
the cards back.
Oh, I have to sign them.
Okay, one more shuffle.
So this is Jean gives you half the information because that's how I roll. I don't remember the entire story, but I saw something that Artsmith has their 5-year anniversary. Correct me if I've got any of the details wrong. I think I saw that it was 11 to 3 and they were giving out free hot dogs and I got free hot dogs and then stopped. So I think that that's happening maybe this weekend, perhaps
Wow,
on
awesome.
Saturday. So it's on Facebook somewhere. I encourage everyone to look at Facebook. But yeah, Artsmith is great. And so check that out. And also Spiral Gallery this Friday is Am Griswold. And that's usually 5:30 to 7-ish, something like that.
Saturday, October 7th, 11 to 3. Free hot dogs and there's water, popcorn, cotton candy, face painting and door prizes.
Yeah. See, there was lots more. I'm glad you looked that
Right
up.
at hot dog.
Yeah. Got the hot dogs.
You're
It was-
in.
It was over.
So
All right,
have,
cool.
have you guys discussed any more the permanent art purchasing, the annual permanent art purchasing for the city? Have you guys?
That's something that kind of dropped off our radar in the past year after Carl
Okay.
left. And we did not put that in our kind of work budget plan for this year.
Okay,
So maybe that's something that we should kind of officially bring back for next year.
I feel like we talked about Marek.
Is that the 1%?
Did
We-
Was that a
Um,
different thing?
that's
That was a
separate.
1%. Oh. okay.
Nope, Merrick Stanton has agreed to do the next art show at the library, which is a collaboration between
Very cool.
us and the library. So, whose art is up? Nina Bradford's art will go down in late October, early November, and then Merrick is gonna have a show
Oh, cool.
up there, yeah. And we also talked
Good timing
about,
with the 1%, I think.
yeah,
so yeah, with the permanent art purchase, I mean, the painting over here on the left was one. And then
Wow.
mhm.
this beautiful piece right here was another. So just it's permanent art that will be displayed in the city. And you guys can budget for that on, in your budget for, through the city, but it just local artists, supporting local artists. So and I believe this one cost quite a pretty penny, like $750.
Actually, well, so we budgeted in $750 every year, and I think that our purchases were close to that every time. So I think that was just kind of the dollar amount we were looking at. That one is particularly special because it's a sketch from Joe Cotter before he passed, and was, I don't want to say sold at a discount, but kindly offered to us for sale from his family. So that's very, very close to everybody's heart who was especially involved in the acquiring of that.
So just something to think about for next year, just I'd like to see that continue. That's like I said, it's really nice to, support artists.
Well, and Carl and I did talk about just doing a switch out of the art in here.
Yeah.
So possibly Nina's show will come here, and if not, we'll bring Merrick's art here
Nice.
after it's done at the library.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I would definitely like to see that happen again here,
Mhm.
rotation of artwork. So,
Mhm. Okay. Anything else? Community for the good of the order? All right, let's close out our meeting at 7:58.
First time I've done that.
I feel like it was a little
Um,
late for you.